Hi everyone, in this video this is a kind of reply to a question I put out on the Facebook group which got a lot of replies from it. So the question was, if you had one photography related tip that you would give yourself back in the first year that you started photography, what would it be? And I think in total we've had about 44 replies or something, a lot of replies. So quite good seeing what people would have told themselves. So quite a lot of people saying shoot raw, use Adobe Lightroom, stuff like that. Here's one, probably shoot raw or buy a 50mm lens. Got another one saying don't fear Photoshop, as shoot raw, stuff like that. Another one which was quite popular is don't do photography. And there's quite a few people saying don't waste your money. Well, not so much don't do photography, but don't waste your money. So people saying don't waste your money on slow lenses. Find a different hobby like tiddlywinks, less pain and more money in your pocket. Hope you like spending a ton of cash. Another one, don't waste money on slow lenses. Buy a decent tripod. Buy good glass, not bodies. And another one saying don't buy tons of equipment and don't be wasting money. So generally the tip, which all these other people are saying, and probably if you want to leave a comment there as well, is that pretty much photography is a hella expensive hobby to have. And my tip to myself hasn't been covered by anyone here whatsoever yet. This is a difficult one because for me, I have a lot of people asking me what should I buy, what lens should I get, what camera should I get? And generally, if I don't know the person, or if I don't know how into photography, which I think they're going to be, I'm actually kind of against telling them to buy an expensive lens. The reason for that is because it's expensive. And I would say about easily 90% of people which I know or have met or have been told about that got into photography then fell out of photography. As in they started taking photos, they loved it, and then they tried to make it their job, and then they just can't be bothered. Only a few people have really stuck with it. The amount of people that I know that went to university or college that did photography, so you know, you're serious about doing it, and then have all flunked out. I don't know, do I know anybody that went to college in Scotland that carried on with photography as their main job? I don't think I do. I know a couple of people that still have it as a kind of side thing, but not as a serious kind of thing that they're doing. So generally my advice is actually just get what you want. So if it's a wide angle lens, get a wide angle lens. I'm not saying you have to buy the fastest, most expensive lens whatsoever. If you want to do portraits, get a 50mm. You don't need to get the 50mm f1.4G lens. You can get a D lens, which is an older, smaller, cheaper version. Even a 1.8, absolutely fine. Same with flashes. You don't need to spend I think Canon are doing a new version which is £600, the RT600 or something like that. Ridiculous price. And again, I would say don't bother with that. Get a Young, I don't know what it's called. Hold on. Anyway, so I've got these things, and just to give you an example, on my my camera store, what I've done is there's a link down below for this. Is I've put all the stuff which I've got, and when you add up the amount, it costs a fortune. The amount of stuff that I've got in terms of photography, it goes over 3 pages. But you've also got to bring in other things like the Mac, the photo editing software, the video editing software, because I do photos and videos, the tripod head, the microphones, all that kind of stuff. So there's generally far greater than just a camera and a lens. There's the tripod head, there's the editing software, there's loads of stuff that you can think about. So actually my advice would be, I've got 2 things. One, buy a lot of gear. So actually, against what a lot of people have said there, a lot of people are saying don't buy lots, buy the best. I would actually say, buy lots. If you're starting out, I would say buy lots, cheap stuff, and find out where your photographic passion goes. For example, just get a cheapo tripod. I'm not talking about a £5.99 tripod from some weird China place that's made out of plastic and will fall apart, but something around about, instead of paying £190 for a tripod and a head, pay 50 quid for something which at least you can move the legs all the way out so you can do a low level long duration shots. So I would say, yeah, get a tripod. I would say get a wide angle lens. I would say get an ND filters. Oh, have I put that in here? I don't think I have. I'll have to have that on. Get a macro lens, because that's always cool. Get a sports lens, a telephoto lens. Get a manual lens as well. So something like the Samyang 35mm or 85mm, I would say, are fantastic lenses. They're fairly cheap in comparison. And if you're doing video, like certainly people who are starting out in photography just now are going to be doing a bit of photo and a bit of video. And if you have something like the Samyang lens for video, oh, so good. I've done piles of reviews and I'll put a link down to any of my videos with the Samyang 35mm. Oh, for video, oh, I love it, especially on full frame. So I would actually say buy a few things. So tripod head, fast lens, but not an expensive one. One's a 50mm lens. I would say get a flash, a Yongnuo or whatever it's called, and make sure you get the editing software to edit all your stuff. But here's my final tip to myself, to younger me, Dom. My tip to me is the biggest tip I can say to myself is keep every receipt for everything that you buy. And that's actually advice to myself just now as well. Because there's so many things I will buy and go, great receipt, into the wallet, and then I'll throw it out at some point later on. I'm like, oh, so whenever it comes to time of paying my taxes, so useful having those receipts. Whenever it comes to something which is broken down on 362nd day of the year, so good to be able to take it back to the shop and go, here's my receipt, instead of going, I have no idea where the receipt is. So having something, because so many things come with a 1-year warranty or guarantee or something like that from the shop. I have heard of somebody whose flash died on them on, how many days is it in a year? 364. On the 363rd day. And they were thinking, should I go to the shop and put it in or not? And they went down and they said, if you'd waited one more day, you wouldn't be getting another free flash for £100. So he's like, oh, fantastic. So that would be my only tip. My one and only tip to myself is definitely keep your receipts for everything that you have. And don't be afraid to sell stuff once you've got it as well. So that's all my tips. Hope that helps. Bye-bye.